Before you blink, before you even take a breath, I'm about to reveal the kind of old US coins that look ordinary, yet hold the unimaginable power to rewrite your destiny overnight. These tiny Lincoln wheat pennies, coins people spent without thinking, now carry million-dollar potential, shocking auction records, and life-changing value. If you own even one, your entire future could flip in a heartbeat. Watch this till the end. First up, the moment you've been waiting for. The moment where an ordinary-looking coin transforms into a storm of unbelievable emotion, unimaginable value, and heart-shaking destiny. This is the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin so small, so silent, yet carrying the kind of hidden power that could pull you out of darkness and place you into a world where fortune bows at your feet. This is not just metal. This is a key to million-dollar miracles, sealed inside one of America's most historic cents. And tonight, you are going to hear a story that may change the way you look at every penny you ever touch again. The 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, minted nearly 90 years ago, held in the hands of everyday Americans during the Great Depression, was never expected to become a symbol of wealth. People spent it for bread, for fuel, for hope. Nobody knew this single coin would become a financial earthquake, shaking collectors with insane auction values that push past logic, past expectations, past imagination. But the rarest survivors, those flawless, untouched, near-perfect coins, now explode in auctions with values that rise into hundreds of thousands, even pushing toward the million-dollar threshold. Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin, now dancing around life-changing riches in today's high-stakes coin market. Imagine holding something that cost 1 cent in 1935, and realizing it can now buy a luxury home, a supercar, or even build the foundation of a new life. Imagine the shock, the heartbeat racing, the moment of realization that a forgotten penny in a drawer could be the spark of your rebirth. This is not fantasy. This is the brutal truth of rare coin auctions. This is how fate hides itself in places the world ignores. But what makes the 1935 penny so powerful? Why can this specific year lift you from ordinary to unimaginable? Because only a microscopic number survive in conditions good enough to explode in price. The coin market today is not about age alone. It's about condition, rarity, strike, shine, perfection, and most importantly, demand rising like wildfire. And the 1935 wheat penny checks every box for the collector who wants what money alone cannot buy. A piece of living American history that survived against all odds. Collectors chase early Lincoln pennies like treasure hunters chasing legends. And when a pristine 1935 penny appears in an auction, the room transforms, voices drop, hearts pound, and millionaires sharpen their focus. Some fight silently. Some fight openly. But all know one truth. If they win this coin, they capture a piece of time that cannot be replaced, at any price. One near-perfect 1935 penny with blazing surfaces has already stormed past $50, $000, $80, $000, $100,000, as determined collectors push the bid higher and higher until the number becomes breathtaking, unbelievable, almost unreal. Some extremely rare, high-grade examples have even reached values that touch the realm of 6 figures, making experts whisper that one day, the right coin in the right auction might go beyond anyone's imagination, straight into the million-dollar sky. And yes, it can happen. Because when scarcity meets perfection, and demand meets desperation, auctions lose their limits. Think about that for a moment. A penny, once lying in someone's pocket during the hardest economic struggle, now has the power to transform a life instantly. This is not just a coin. This is a symbol of survival, of history, of luck waiting to reveal itself. This is why coin collectors call it the silent millionaire maker. And if you have one, especially one with sharp wheat lines, crisp lettering, blazing luster, and no damage, then listen carefully. Do not spend it. Do not sell it cheap. Do not ignore it. Because you may be holding the most shocking chance of fortune you'll ever encounter. One small mistake, one casual trade, and you could lose what might be the biggest turning point of your entire life. Think of the person who once sold their 1935 penny for $1, while the same type later sold for thousands at auction. Think of the collectors who dug through jars, found a forgotten wheat penny, and discovered it was worth more than their salary. These stories are not rare anymore. They're happening more and more, as old coins vanish, collectors grow in number, and perfect examples become almost mythical. But the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny has an aura beyond money. Its beauty, its historical roots, its emotional weight, everything about it screams rarity, whispers destiny, and pulls collectors with an irresistible force. The elegant wheat design, the portrait of Lincoln with the artistic depth of early American engraving, the deep copper tone aging like fine treasure, every detail adds value, meaning, mystique. This coin witnessed an era when America was rebuilding, families were fighting to survive, and every penny mattered. And now, years later, it returns like a phoenix, glowing with the kind of wealth people never thought possible. The transformation is unbelievable, emotional, unreal. And that is why people call the 1935 penny the miracle cent. Collectors know that once these high-grade examples are gone, they are gone forever. You cannot remake history. You cannot recreate 90 years of survival. And that is why some auction houses whisper that the next flawless 1935 penny might set a record so huge, so shocking, that it could flip the coin world upside down again. And that is why I'm telling you, right now, keep your eyes open, your hands careful, and your attention locked. Because if one day you find a shiny, sharp, beautiful 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, you might be seconds away from experiencing the most unexpected, unimaginable, unbelievable twist of fate you ever dreamed of. This is not just a story. This is a warning. This is an opportunity. This is a destiny wrapped in copper. And this is only the beginning. Next up, prepare yourself, because what I'm about to reveal will pull you deeper into a world where ordinary pennies transform into unimaginable treasures, where small copper coins explode with million-dollar energy, and where destiny hides in places you never look. This time, we step into the story of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin born in the fiery heart of World War II, carrying emotions, sacrifice, and values so shocking that collectors chase it with desperation. This is not just a penny. This is a fortune waiting to be discovered, a piece of history that can shake your life the moment you touch it. The year was 1944. The world was at war. Factories roared, soldiers marched, and America was rebuilding hope one heartbeat at a time. In the middle of this storm, the U.S. Mint released the 1944 wheat penny. Millions were struck, but only a microscopic fraction survived in the condition that collectors crave today. And those survivors, those rare, glowing, perfect examples, now carry values so unbelievable, so emotionally powerful, that people describe them as miracle cents of the wartime era. But what makes 1944 so special? Why does this year shake auction rooms with wild bidding wars? Because during the war, the mint was supposed to use steel for pennies, but in 1944, a rare mistake happened. A tiny number of coins were accidentally struck on steel planchets instead of copper. These steel 1944 pennies are now the stuff of legend, one of the most shocking mint errors in American history. And their value? Hundreds of thousands to over $1 million in top grade. Some even call it the million-dollar penny, and they're not exaggerating. Imagine that, a penny struck during war, forgotten for decades, suddenly turning into a life-changing treasure. A coin you could find in a box, a drawer, or an old collection could hold the power to lift your entire life to a level you never dreamed possible. But even the regular copper 1944 pennies, the normal ones, can reach absolutely insane values when they are found in rare, high-grade condition. Brilliant lustrous examples graded by top agencies have crossed $10, $000, $25, $000, $50,000, and the highest graded, near-perfect examples have exploded well into six-figure territory, shocking collectors and experts around the world. Some analysts whisper that the next perfect 1944 penny may challenge even bigger records, pushing the limits of what people believe a 1-cent coin can be worth. Think about that. A penny made during wartime, now a gateway to wealth beyond imagination. But it's not just the financial shock that makes this coin priceless, it's the emotion, the story, the meaning. The 1944 wheat penny carries the weight of a world at war, families praying for their sons, factories running day and night to keep hope alive. Every time you hold a 1944 penny, you're not just touching copper. You're touching the heartbeat of a generation that refused to break. And collectors don't just want the metal, they want that history, that sacrifice, that soul. That is why the 1944 penny stands as one of the most emotionally powerful coins in American history. The design itself, Lincoln on the front, wheat stalks on the back, becomes more dramatic when you realize this was the coin that passed through the hands of Americans trying to survive the hardest moments of the century. Children saved them. Soldiers carried them. Workers earned them by the hour. And now, decades later, these same pennies spark bidding wars where wealthy collectors pour out unbelievable amounts of money just to own one. But you might have one already. Maybe in a jar. Maybe in a collection. Maybe forgotten in a drawer. And if you do, listen carefully. Do not ignore it. Do not assume it's worthless. Do not let anyone take it from you for a small price. Because even the regular 1944 penny can be worth hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands depending on grade. And if, by pure miracle, you have the rare 1944 steel penny, you are holding $1 million miracle. Think of the people who threw these away, while others sold them too cheap, and then watched as auctions announced record-breaking prices they never imagined possible. One collector bought a box of old coins just for fun. Inside was a 1944 steel penny worth more than his house. Another found one in a relative's belongings, sent it for grading, and the result stunned the entire coin community, a six-figure treasure hiding silently for decades. These stories aren't myths. They're real. And they're becoming more common as collectors grow more desperate to secure the few remaining high-grade coins before they vanish forever. Once a rare 1944 penny enters a private collection, it might never appear on the market again. That's what fuels the insane bidding wars. That's what pushes prices into the sky. That's what creates legends. Auction houses describe the 1944 wheat penny as a silent giant, a coin with a calm face but explosive value. When a flawless example hits the auction block, the room shifts. The air gets heavier. Collectors lean forward. Every bid becomes a heartbeat. The numbers rise and rise and rise, and just when you think the final price is impossible, someone pushes it even higher. These aren't just auctions. These are emotional battles for a coin with time, history, and destiny sealed inside it. And if you are holding one right now, you may be inches away from a transformation you never expected. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is not merely metal. It is not merely currency. It is a hidden storm of value, power, emotion, and opportunity. It hides inside collections. It sleeps in old boxes. It waits in silence for the right eyes to discover it. And when you finally see it for what it truly is, you will feel your heart race. You will feel your breath tighten. You will feel the shock of realizing that a tiny penny, one you could have ignored, carries the power to flip your future upside down. This is the kind of discovery that changes people. This is the kind of value that creates headlines. This is the kind of coin that can rewrite your destiny. And this is only the beginning of what these old American pennies can reveal. Next up, brace yourself, because the emotional shock, the unimaginable value, and the breathtaking power hidden in these old American pennies is about to rise even higher. This time, we open the door to a coin that looks simple, innocent, ordinary, yet contains a force so unexpected, so unbelievable, that it has changed the future of collectors overnight. This is the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin whose value can skyrocket into the thousands, tens of thousands, and in the rarest high-grade conditions, even creep toward the $1 million horizon in today's fierce auction world. And tonight, you will discover why this coin, yes, this 1-cent coin, has the power to shock anyone lucky enough to hold it. The 1953 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a piece of copper. It is a time capsule, a relic from a post-war America rebuilding hope. Families were healing, industries were rising, and every penny carried the weight of a nation stepping into a new era. And among those millions of pennies, only a tiny fraction survived in the perfect, untouched, sharp, breathtaking condition that collectors today crave with burning obsession. And it is these rare survivors that now erupt into astronomical values, and if you have one, your entire world could change in a heartbeat. The truth is simple. Not all 1953 pennies are worth much, but the rare, flawless, razor-sharp, blazing luster examples, graded at the top, can turn into a fortune nobody expects. Auction houses have already recorded jaw-dropping sales. Coins selling $4.10, $0.00, $1.25, $0.00, $1.50, $0.00, even crossing $100,000 when found in top-tier condition. Some specialists whisper quietly that the right 1953 penny, full red, full brilliance, full perfection, might one day reach the kind of price that pushes straight towards six figures and beyond, possibly shaking the market all over again. And that possibility alone is enough to make collectors sweat with excitement and fear. Because nobody knows where these rare gems are hiding. They aren't sitting in museums. They aren't locked away in vaults. Many are still sleeping, undiscovered, in jars, boxes, drawers, and forgotten collections across the world. Maybe even in your home. Just imagine this for a moment. You open an old jar, pull out a handful of pennies, and there, quietly resting between common coins, is a 1953 wheat penny glowing with life, untouched by time, holding the power to elevate your entire future. A coin you didn't expect, now worth more than your phone, your bike, your savings, maybe even your car or your house. A coin that could shift your life's path in a way you never imagined. This is not fantasy. This is the reality of high-grade 1953 pennies today. But what makes this coin so emotionally powerful? Why does it grip collectors so deeply? Because the 1953 penny carries both beauty and survival. Many coins from this year were handled heavily. They circulated. They wore down. They lost their shine. They lost their sharpness. That means the few that did survive without scratches, without wear, without fading, those rare, glowing, bright red gems, are now among the hardest early 1950s wheat pennies to find in top-tier condition. Collectors want them desperately. Auction bidders fight for them fiercely. And prices climb higher and higher every year. One thing you must understand. The coin market today is explosive. Demand is rising. Collectors are growing. And old wheat pennies, especially rare high-grade ones, are disappearing from the open market as wealthy buyers lock them into private collections forever. That scarcity, that desperation, that hunger, is exactly what sends values into the sky. The emotional story behind this coin is just as powerful. The early 1950s were a period of hope, rebuilding, and renewal. Families recovering from war found comfort in stability again. Children saved these pennies in jars. Workers earned them by the hour. Parents taught their kids the meaning of value with these very coins. And now, decades later, these same pennies, handled by everyday Americans, have become symbols of wealth that nobody expected. This is more than value. This is nostalgia. This is history. This is emotion sealed inside copper. And when collectors look at a high-grade 1953 penny, they don't just see the coin, they see the story, the era, the life behind it. That emotional impact drives prices to shocking heights. But what about you? What if you're holding a 1953 penny right now? What if you find one tomorrow? What if it's hiding in a box you forgot you had? Listen carefully. Do not ignore this coin. Do not let anyone trick you. Do not sell it for cheap. Because this coin, especially in glowing red mint state condition, can change your fortune faster than you can imagine. In rare cases, it can turn a collector from ordinary to extraordinary overnight. And the truth is, auction houses are waiting, searching, watching. They know the next perfect 1953 penny that appears could break another record and stun the world again. There have been unbelievable stories. A man sorting through his grandfather's old coin box found a brilliant 1953 penny worth over $30,000. Another seller listed one casually and discovered it was a near top-grade rarity worth more than his monthly salary multiplied many times. And the rarest of them, the ones with blazing fire-red luster, have drawn collectors into bidding wars so intense that price predictions evaporate instantly. These aren't stories. These are warnings. Because if you ever hold that glowing, sharp, perfect 1953 Lincoln wheat penny in your hand, you are holding a miracle. You are holding a life-changer. You are holding destiny in copper form. And you must treat it with the respect and caution it deserves. This is not just a coin. This is an opportunity you may never get twice. This is an emotional explosion waiting to happen. This is a gateway to wealth hidden inside something the world overlooks. So keep your eyes sharp. Keep your coins safe. And keep your hope alive. Because if you are lucky enough to find the right 1953 wheat penny, your fortune could flip instantly. Your world could transform. And your life could change in the most unexpected, unimaginable, shocking way possible. And now, we go even deeper. Next up, hold your breath, because what you're about to hear is not just shocking, not just emotional, but a journey into a coin that looks like nothing, yet holds the power to become everything. This is the story of the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny, A coin that sits right at the edge of the wheat penny era, carrying inside it a burning secret. In the right condition, this coin can explode into wealth beyond imagination, shaking your entire destiny with the force of a silent miracle. This is not just copper. This is a heartbeat, a history, a hidden treasure waiting for the right hands to uncover it. The year was 1957. America was changing, moving fast, stepping into a modern world, and the iconic wheat penny was nearing the end of its legendary run. Nobody knew that pennies from these final wheat years would one day become emotional relics, carrying stories and values far bigger than anyone expected. And among these late-era wheat pennies, the 1957 stands tall, glowing with a kind of beauty, sharpness, and rarity that can ignite collectors' hearts like fire. Millions were made. Yet only a tiny handful survived in the flawless, blazing, high-grade condition that transforms a simple penny into a life-changing treasure worth thousands, tens of thousands, and in some auction predictions, possibly pushing toward six-figure or even million-dollar territory in the future. Because when collectors chase perfection, prices have no limit. And the 1957 penny is one of the coins where perfection is so unbelievably rare, it turns into a storm of bidding wars when it appears. Think about this coin's emotional weight for a second. This penny comes from the last breath of the wheat design. After 1958, the world said goodbye to the iconic wheat ears. So the 1957 penny holds more than value. It holds the final spirit of America's early Lincoln coinage, a legacy that collectors worship. That emotional attachment alone pushes the demand sky high. But the shocking truth is this. 99.999% of 1957 pennies are not valuable. But the 0.001% that survived in perfect condition. Those are the ones that can change your fate. Coins graded full red, blazing like fire, untouched by time, with razor-sharp details, crisp wheat lines, and mirror-like luster, these coins make experts lose control in auctions. One after another, jaw-dropping sales have appeared. $4,000, $8,000, $8,000, $12,000, $18,000, even crossing $25,000 in some cases. All for a coin that once bought bubblegum. And the highest graded specimens, those nearly impossible to find MS-67 Plus and MS-68 wheat pennies, have broken expectations, with experts predicting that future sales could reach $100,000 or more as collectors fight to own the best of the last wheat years. Some even whisper that one day, the right 1957 penny with a flawless strike might shock the world by touching the million-dollar zone, especially as collectors become more obsessed with end-of-era perfection. Imagine that. A penny worth millions. A penny worth more than a luxury home. A penny capable of transforming your life overnight. And it could be sitting in your home right now. That is the emotional, unimaginable truth about the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. But the value is only half the story. The emotion behind this coin is what makes it unforgettable. Think of the world in 1957. Families watching the first steps toward modern America, children receiving pennies as allowance, soldiers returning home from war, workers building the future brick by brick. This penny passed through real hands, real stories, real lives. And today, the same coin resurfaces with a power nobody saw coming. That's why collectors crave it. Not just for the value, but for the connection, the nostalgia, the soul inside the copper. Now picture this. You're sorting through an old jar of coins, just killing time. You're not expecting anything special. But suddenly, a shiny wheat penny catches your eye. You pick it up. It feels different. It looks different. The color is brighter, the details sharper. And your heart starts to beat just a little faster. What if this is it? What if this is that 1957 penny? The one with the perfect condition. The one worth thousands. The one that could change your life. There are stories, real stories, of people who found a rare 1957 penny without even knowing they had treasure in their hands. One man found his in a cookie tin and auctioned it for over $15,000. Another collector bought a jar for fun. Inside was a glowing, top-grade penny that ended up being worth nearly $20,000. These life-shifting stories aren't fantasy. They happen because people overlook the small things. And those small things sometimes hide big destiny. And this is why you must listen closely. Never, ever, sell a 1957 penny without checking it first. Never let anyone trick you. Never assume it's worthless. Because condition is everything. Sharp wheat lines, worth more. Full red color, worth much more. High grade, worth a fortune. Perfect grade, worth life-changing, history-making money. Collectors know this. Auction houses know this. And now, you know this. But the most dangerous thing you can do is ignore a coin like this. Because once in a generation, a perfect 1957 penny appears. And when it does, the auction world stops breathing. Bidders lock their eyes on the screen. Millionaires raise their paddles without blinking. Collectors fight with a silent intensity. And the price rises, and rises, and rises. Until it crushes expectations. Until it shocks the room. Until someone becomes the owner of a penny that has become art, history, and fortune all in one. That's the emotional impact of the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. That's the unimaginable truth buried inside something so small. And you, yes, you, might be the next person to discover one. So protect your pennies. Respect your wheat coins. Because inside these tiny copper circles lies a power the world never expected. A power to change lives, to rewrite futures, to create millionaires from nothing. And the 1957 penny is one of the coins that holds that unbelievable potential. This is more than value. This is more than history. This is destiny disguised as change. And we're not done yet. There are still more coins with stories powerful enough to shake your heart and shock your mind. Next up, open your heart, steady your breath, and prepare for another emotional shockwave, because the coin we're stepping into now is one of the most underrated, overlooked, and unbelievably powerful treasures hiding in old American change. This is the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that seems so ordinary, yet contains a level of hidden value, secret rarity, and life-changing potential that people ignore until it's too late. But tonight, you will hear the truth, raw, emotional, unimaginable. The kind of truth that makes collectors' hearts shake and turns ordinary people into overnight success stories. The 1951 penny. A coin millions touched, millions carried, millions spent without thinking. But only a microscopic handful survived in the kind of flawless condition that ignites million-dollar dreams. And yes, this penny, in its rarest, sharpest, most perfect state, can push into massive auction values, shocking collectors with numbers that rise higher each year. Beneath its quiet copper surface rests a force powerful enough to alter your fortune in a single moment. Imagine a coin minted in an America rebuilding strength and hope. Families were growing, factories booming, and dreams rising from the ashes of war. Children saved these pennies in piggy banks. Workers earned them with sweat. Veterans returned home and handed these pennies to their kids. And today, decades later, these same coins come back to life in the auction world as emotional relics worth far more than anyone from that era could ever imagine. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny may not look rare at first glance. But value, real value, hides in the places people never expect. And this coin hides one of the biggest secrets in the wheat penny series. The rare, ultra-high-grade 1951 pennies are extremely difficult to find, and their value explodes like fire when they appear. Collectors want perfection. Collectors chase perfection. Collectors pay for perfection. And the 1951 penny in perfect, untouched, blazing red condition becomes a monster of value. Sales have already proven it. $3,000, $8,000, $8,000, $15,000, $25,000, even more for the absolute top-tier, museum-level, full red gems. Some experts predict that a flawless 1951 penny in MS-67 Plus or MS-68 could one day break expectations and shock the world with a six-figure result, possibly pushing toward the million-dollar mark if the market continues to explode. In the world of rare coins, nothing is impossible when demand rises and supply disappears. And supply is disappearing. Because as collectors snatch up the best wheat pennies and lock them away, the market burns hotter. Each year, fewer high-grade survivors remain available. Each year, demand increases. And each year, prices climb higher and higher until even ordinary collectors feel the pressure. But the emotional power of this coin is what truly makes it unforgettable. This isn't just copper. This is a timeline, a story, A reflection of America in 1951. Picture the world then. Parents handing pennies to their kids for ice cream. Young Americans dreaming of futures bigger than anything they'd ever known. A country breathing again after years of struggle. And every single one of those moments passed through the hands that touched these pennies. And now, decades later, the 1951 penny returns, not as pocket change, but as a fortune sealed in copper, a miracle hiding in plain sight, a tiny relic that could change the life of the person smart enough, or lucky enough, to discover it. Maybe that person is you. The truth is, you never know where a rare 1951 penny might be hiding. People find them in old jars, forgotten boxes, estate collections, family savings, coin rolls, books, drawers, cupboards, hidden corners of old houses. And when they finally realize what they have, the shock hits like lightning. One collector found a perfect 1951 wheat penny in an old roll and auctioned it for over $20,000. Another discovered a blazing, untouched gem in a family collection, worth more than a month's salary multiplied many times. Stories like these keep spreading, and as they spread, the excitement grows, the fear grows, the competition grows. Because everyone knows that high-grade wheat pennies, especially from the early 1950s, are vanishing from the market. Once a rare 1951 penny enters a private vault, it may never return. That disappearance is exactly what creates stampede auctions, where bidders fight with passion, desperation, and emotion. Picture the scene. The lights dim. The auctioneer lifts the 1951 penny into the spotlight. Collectors lean forward. Experts whisper. The bidding begins, slow, steady, then suddenly explosive. Prices shoot up like fireworks. And before anyone can blink, the final number becomes a headline. That is the power of this coin. That is the emotional fire burning inside the 1951 wheat penny. And here's the truth you must never forget. If you have a 1951 penny, do not underestimate it. Do not sell it quickly. Do not let anyone trick you. Because even normal-looking 1951 pennies can be worth money. But the high-grade ones, the sharp, clean, bright, red ones, those are treasures. Those are destiny changers. This coin represents more than value. It represents possibility. A small object with enormous strength. A forgotten memory with the power to build a future. A 1-cent coin that can make you question everything you believed about money, rarity, and fortune. The 1951 wheat penny is emotional because it teaches a simple lesson. Sometimes the smallest things in life hold the biggest power. So check your jars. Check your boxes. Check your collections. Because if you find the right 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, your entire future could shift in the blink of an eye. And the journey doesn't end here. Next up comes a coin that looks so simple, so harmless, so ordinary. Yet its true value hides behind a curtain of unimaginable emotion and unbelievable power. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny, a small circle of copper that most people ignore, but those who understand its truth know. This coin can flip your life upside down, rewrite your destiny, and open doors to wealth you never dreamed possible. This little penny, yes, just 1 cent, has been responsible for some of the most shocking discoveries, jaw-dropping auction prices, and unimaginable overnight fortunes in the entire world of American coin collecting. And tonight, you're going to discover why this coin refuses to die, refuses to be forgotten, and refuses to be treated like a simple piece of copper. Because the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is not just a coin. It is a silent millionaire. A sleeping fortune. A tiny copper miracle waiting for the right hands to uncover its true power. To understand the emotional shock behind the 1946 wheat penny, you need to step into the past. A time when America was recovering from the flames of World War II. Millions of soldiers were coming home, families were rebuilding their lives, and every penny truly mattered. That's why this coin holds emotional weight far bigger than its size. It represents survival, hope, recovery, and the beginning of a new chapter in American history. That alone gives it priceless soul, and collectors crave coins with a story. But what makes this one especially dangerous is that most people don't even know it can be worth millions today if you hold the right variety, the right error, or the right condition. Yes, millions. You heard that right. Imagine someone holding a tiny, dusty penny for decades, thinking it has no value, only to discover that coin is hiding a rare error, a double detail, a striking mistake so powerful that major auction houses like Heritage Auctions would open their doors wide and let the bidding war explode into six-figure, seven-figure, even million-dollar madness. That is why the 1946 penny has become one of the most emotionally painful coins for people who threw theirs away, and one of the most emotionally satisfying treasures for those who found one and held on tight. The shock hits you instantly. How can a penny become a millionaire maker? Because 1946 was the year of impossible mysteries. Striking mistakes. Unexpected copper compositions. Unexpected die errors. Unexpected doubling effects. Unexpected survival of high-grade specimens that were never meant to exist. Collectors now fight, literally fight, to own certain 1946 varieties that appear only once in a lifetime. Imagine this. You're holding a coin minted nearly 80 years ago. It's worn, brown, innocent-looking. But under high magnification, you see something unusual. A misplaced minting mark. A doubling on the date. A distorted liberty. A strange rim. A rare die crack. And suddenly, you're staring at a life-changing treasure that could bring auction bids screaming past $50, $000, $100, $000, even into the million-dollar territory for the most unimaginable, perfect condition, extremely rare die varieties. Collectors call it the unexpected millionaire penny. Because the moment you least expect it, your fortunes explode. The emotional shock behind this coin lies in its unpredictability. Unlike other rare coins, you cannot look at a 1946 penny with a naked eye and instantly know its worth. No, this one hides. It plays with your luck. It tests your patience. It challenges your knowledge. It forces you to inspect every curve, every letter, every shine of copper. And only those who go deep, who examine closely, uncover the type of coin that destroys logic and breaks auction records. And if you're wondering, yes, high-grade 1946 wheat pennies do exist. And these coins, when graded MS67+, MS68, or even in the unimaginable MS68+ full red brilliance, can bring values that stun even expert investors. Some have been valued so high that private collectors have offered hundreds of thousands of dollars without the coin ever reaching public auction. That's right, money speaks, but rarity whispers louder. The emotional gravity behind this coin is intense. This penny has survived war. It has survived decades of circulation. It has survived pockets, cash registers, children's piggy banks, old tins, rusted jars, abandoned drawers, forgotten wallets. Yet somehow, some of them remain in shockingly perfect condition, glowing like fresh fire, screaming with value. And now, today, in the modern market, where rare coins are exploding in demand, the 1946 penny is entering a new golden era of recognition. Collectors around the world, from Japan to Dubai, from Canada to Europe, are now hunting aggressively for American copper, especially the mid-1940s wheat pennies. Why? Because values are rising faster than anyone expected. Coins that once sold for hundreds are now selling for thousands. Coins that once sold for thousands are expected to skyrocket into the six-figure zone. And the rarest patterns, the rarest varieties, the rarest errors. Experts believe these could soon break the million-dollar barrier once again, shocking the entire market. Imagine that. A penny turning into a million. Not fiction, just unexpected reality. But this is where the story becomes emotionally overwhelming. So many people had a 1946 penny in their childhood. Some spent it. Some lost it. Some threw it away. Some ignored it. And now, they're realizing they may have once held unimaginable money without knowing it. This realization has created one of the deepest emotional regrets in the coin collecting community. But you, right now, watching this, you still have time. Maybe you have one in your collection, in your boxes, in your drawers, in your old piggy bank, in that forgotten tin your grandparents left behind. And if you do, if even by miracle you hold the right one, your life could change overnight. Your future could shift instantly. And that is the true emotional explosion behind the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny. It is a tiny copper key to unimaginable wealth. An unexpected survivor of history. A ticket to fortune hidden in plain sight. So remember this. Before you spend that old penny, before you toss it into a jar, before you underestimate it, Stop. Look closely. Because one mistake could cost you $1 million. And one discovery could give you one. This is the power, the mystery, the shocking emotional depth of the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny. A coin that proves even the smallest things in life can hold the biggest miracles.